Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to play the song Heartbreaker by Benatar. That's coming up next. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. I put out a new video like this every single Tuesday, so you don't want to miss that. Second, make sure you download the PDF transcription for this song. You can do that by clicking the link in the description of the video. And lastly, make sure you have your drumsticks with you so that you can actually play along with me as we work our way through the song. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with the introduction. For the intro, you're going to be playing eighth notes with your right hand on the floor tom and quarter notes on the kick drum. Doom, 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 doom. Your left hand is going to be also playing quarter notes, but moving between the rack tom and the snare drum. Doom, doom, ga, doom, 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 ga. And then every other measure, we have an offbeat crash cymbal hit, and we're going to hit the kick drum with the crash. That happens on the and of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and doom, doom, da, doom. So we'll do that 3 times. And then the 4th time we're going to do a regular, just a 16th note roll on the snare. Boom. And that leads us into the verse. Okay, so you got your drumsticks, you ready? We're going to play through the introduction 2 times, nice and slow at 70 beats per minute. So play along with me. Here we go. Okay, fantastic job. See, the intro is not too hard, right? Now we're going to learn verse 1, and this is kind of the main drum beat of the entire song. We're going to play quarter notes with the right hand on the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 4 backbeat on the snare, and then our kick drum is playing all of the eighth notes in between the snare backbeat. So it's doom doom ga doom 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 ga doom 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 ga doom 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 ga. Just a really driving rock beat. And then we're finishing each line of the verse, so every 4 measures, with 2 quarter note crash hits. Doom doom ga doom bam bam. And the second line of verse 1 has a little 16th fill leading into that first crash. So it's like doom doom ga 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 bam bam. All right, so again, grab your drumsticks, try playing along with me. Nice and slow, we'll do the verse 1 2 times. Okay, excellent job. Let's move on to pre-chorus 1. So here the beat gets a little bit more complex because we have more crash cymbal hits. So on the first 2 measures, there's 3 crash cymbal hits total. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. You're the right kind of sinner. Doom, 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 got doom, boom. And then in between the crashes, we go back to the eighth note kick pattern where we're playing in between the snare hits. So it's got doom, got doom, got doom, 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 got doom, another crash cymbal hit at the start of the third measure. Doom, 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 got doom, doom. And then at the end of that first line of pre-chorus 1, we have an eighth note pattern on the snare and the ride cymbal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then if you look at the second line of pre-chorus 1, so starting at measure 21, the first two measures are the same as above, but then the third measure we end with a snare drum and an open hi-hat. That's what the little circle above the X stands for. So it's psh, got doom 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 ksh, hitting a snare and an open hi-hat. And then we're going to do 2 measures of building on the snare, floor tom, and kick drum. So the floor tom and snare are playing eighth notes, and we're doing quarter notes on the kick drum. You were born to be doom 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 blah. And we're ending with a flam on the snare drum on beat 3. And that gets us ready to play the chorus. So get your drumsticks. Let's play through pre-chorus 1 nice and slow. Here we go. Okay, now we're into chorus 1. I love this part of the song because it goes to halftime. If you've never heard of that term before, it's just when you change the emphasis of the snare beats to make the music feel as though it's slowed down. So in the chorus here, instead of doing the snare backbeat on 2 and 4, doom, cat, doom, doom, cat, we do the snare hit only on beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it feels like it's slowed down. The trick with the chorus is make sure that you don't start it with a crash. It does not start with a crash. It starts with hi-hats only. And then on the second measure there is a crash cymbal with the snare hit. And then at the end of the line of the chorus every time there's an offbeat crash hit. Got bzz, got bzz. 1 and 3 and. So you hit the snare and then the kick and the crash, okay? And you will always repeat those 4 measures. Okay, get ready to play chorus 1 with me nice and slow. This halftime feels really slow, but try to play along with me and see if you can get every note in the correct order. So here we go. All right, guys, we're about halfway through. We don't even need to cover page 2 of the PDF because it just repeats everything we already covered on page 1. So we're going to skip over to page 3 and look at the top of page 3 where it says instrumental. Okay, this is a 12 measure section, and we're going to just break this down line by line. So it starts off with your right hand playing on the ride cymbal, and we have this more open kick pattern. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the kick pattern is a little more sparse. It's not the driving eighth notes in between every snare that we did in the verses. So you'll play that for 2 measures, and then on the third and fourth measures of the top line of the instrumental, you have this really cool snare and crash rhythm. Boom, ka boom, ka boom, ka boom, ka boom, ka boom. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 1. So it's crash and kick drum together, and then we're playing a snare before the crash each time. So that's a really fun part of the song, because the whole band, you play those unison hits, okay? And then if you move to the next line, so measure 63, the first two measures are the same. We have that same ride cymbal groove, and then the third and fourth measures, it's a very similar crash cymbal pattern, but just slightly different. We're going to be playing 2 snare hits between the crashes this time. So it's psh, ga, psh, ga, psh, ga, psh, and then we end with a snare and crash cymbal hit on beat 4 of the last measure. So dun da da dun da da dun da da dun da. Again, this is a really fun part of the song because it matches up perfectly with all of the other instruments. Okay, then if you look at measures 67 and 68, we're playing this cool 8th note rhythm. Rack tom, floor tom, and kick drum all together. Doom, doom, ka, doom, doom, ka. So you're doing the toms and the kick drum, then another kick by itself, and then snare and crash. Boom, doom, gam, doom, boom, gam, boom, doom, gam, boom, doom, gam. And then we're going to do 2 measures, crescendoing up to pre-chorus 3. Left hand on the snare drum, right hand on the floor tom, quarter notes on the kick drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and boom. And then we'll start the next section with a big flam on the snare. Okay, grab your sticks. Let's play the instrumental together. We'll do the entire 12 measure phrase 2 times, very slow with the metronome. So here we go. That instrumental section is pretty fun, right? I love that part of the song. That might be my favorite part, okay? So now we're here at pre-chorus 3. So this is back to the, you're the right kind of sinner. All right, it's that part. And we're going to be playing hi-hat, quarter notes with our left foot, the hi-hat chick, just closing the cymbal with our foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That happens underneath this whole pre-chorus section. So we're doing a flam on the snare drum on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Then we're doing unison hits with the snare and floor tom. Dun, dun, 2, 3, 4, dun, dun. And on the downbeat, so the second of those 2 hits, we're also going to play the kick. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Then the last measure, we're playing all up beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then you'll see that triplet figure. That should be played right, left, right. Do-ga-doom, big-a-doo-boom. And that's going to be floor tom, rack tom, floor tom. Dubba-da-boom, dugga-da-boom, dugga-da-boom. Right, left, right kick. That is a very common drum lick that you should definitely practice. Okay. Measures 75 and 76 are pretty much the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Then we do the 8th note building thing again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On the last note, you're going to hit a snare and a really loud open hi-hat. Okay, grab your sticks, play through pre-chorus 3 with me, nice and slow. Okay, you guys are doing a fantastic job. We only have 2 more parts of the song to discuss. So if you look at page 4, it's very, very similar to our main groove that we learned at the very beginning of the song with the do-do-ga, do-do-do-ga, do-do-do-ga, with that driving kick pattern, except now our right hand is on the ride cymbal instead of the hi-hat. So that is pretty much the first half of the page, and what we're going to do is practice the line that starts with measure 104, because that has the most complicated rhythm towards the end of that line. So you're going to see there's some 16th rhythms, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1 and 2, a 3 and 4, da da bzz bzz, da da bzz bzz. Okay, this is partway through the guitar solo, so just that line, measure 104, is what we're going to be practicing here. So just make sure that you start that first offbeat snare hit, the 16th note, with the left hand. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And also be sure that you hit the kick drum with the crash cymbals. Okay, got your drumsticks? Perfect. Play through this last part here with me, the guitar solo, measure 104. Here we go, nice and slow. Excellent job, guys. The final part to work on is just the very, very end. So look on page 5. You're going to see there's just this crash cymbal hits with the kick drum over and over for 4 measures. And it says ACCEL, abbreviation at the top. That stands for accelerando. So we're going to be speeding up there. Bum, 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 bum. Just crescendoing into this huge trash can ending. And then do you see on the last line there's a semicircle with a dot underneath it? That is called a fermata, and it means you're just going to hold out that last part until, like a conductor traditionally would cue the ending, cue the whole ensemble when to end. But in a rock band, it doesn't work exactly like that. It's more like we as the drummers kind of cue that ending. So it's kind of everyone on stage looking around at each other. We're going to hold out that last crash cymbal, swelling on the crash, doing a roll around the toms, and then we'll all end together. So the key is when you do that snare flam, you need to raise your arms up and then down on the crash in one smooth motion, okay? You can't like be tricky about it, like boom, and have any sort of pauses to it. It needs to be up, down, and make it really clear for everybody in the band to see you and time their final hit of the trash can with your final hit on the crash cymbal. So this is super fun to play. This is probably my favorite way to end a song, is this trash can ending. So here is a quick example of what that sounds like. Okay, you have now learned every part of the song. You are ready to give the whole thing a try. So get ready to play this song with me from start to finish along with the record. Hang on, it's fast, but it is super fun. So here we go.
Don't you mess around with me, you're a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker. Don't you mess around with me, you're a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker. Don't you mess around with me, you're a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker, heartbreaker.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video and watching all the way to the end. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video like this every week, so you don't want to miss that. If you'd like to support my channel, you can go to my website, jaredshantos.com, and purchase my drum book or purchase a JC logo t-shirt. And be sure to check out some of my other videos here as well if you'd like to continue watching. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.